Hi, I'm Marc Stevens, author of Adventures in Legal and, of course, the website marcstevens.net. And we've got a new addition to the illustrious Call of Shame here at marcstevens.net. What we like to do in helping bring about a voluntary society is educating people on the true nature of the system, that they're not dealing with honorable people, that government doesn't exist. It's just a group of men and women doing business at the barrel of a gun, and they're not looking to protect your life, liberty, and property. And where's the evidence of that? Oh, they're willing to kill you in order to get you to pay them. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is conspiracy fact. These people have no voluntary support. Governments, you either pay or you go to jail. That's just the way it is. And we've got quite a few call of shames where they have no evidence. Posted a few lately. Here's an IRS agent that says, when I asked if they could confirm that there was evidence proving jurisdiction, she responded with, I prefer not to answer that question. Of course, when you do business at the barrel of a gun, you don't need to have things like evidence. So we've got quite a few here. And it's not limited to just the North America. We go all over. Of course, they have no actual evidence, and this is another example of that. This is going to be. It's not that long. I just to be able to post as much of these as I can. It helps if I just clip out the relevant sections of the call and not bleep out everybody's name and whatnot. So I just get to the meat of the call. And it's going to be another one of these. I love this GIF. The code is applicable because the code is applicable. Because that's really what I'm getting to, what we get into again in this call. I guess, we had the council tax back in England. They said the same thing, that the code applies because the code applies. So what we do in this call, again, it's a little less than a minute. I had already been asking this professional thief, that's because the IRS is a terrorist organization, and terrorism being defined as the use of force or threat of force to bring about political change, and, bring about, when you're forcing people to pay you, yeah, that would qualify. So the facts are pretty there's a lot of evidence. The evidence is overwhelming that the people we call the IRS, the United States government, all governments are terrorist organizations because they only have political power, which of course comes out of the barrel of a gun, as a famous statist once said. So I've already asked him about evidence proving the Constitution and Code apply in the first place, and he is dodging the question. And so he eventually, as you'll hear in the audio, that he keeps going back to the Code. So, and just in a little bit of frustration, and this is something I recommend that you always do, get them to agree to the position before you start pulling it apart. So this way, as I said before, if you write it down, you make sure you're on the same page. It's a lot more difficult for them. It's a lot more obvious that they're lying when they come out later and say, that's not what I said. So I asked him point blank. I said, is your position the laws apply because the laws say so? And he agreed. So what he didn't agree with was that it was circular logic, and he's either being disingenuous and lying to me, which is fairly standard for a thief, a professional, liar, and thief, which is what all government agents are. He's either being disingenuous, that he doesn't understand that the law applies because the law says so, is circular reasoning or circular logic, or he just doesn't comprehend and doesn't understand basic logic. So he certainly wouldn't accept it from me, so I think he's just being disingenuous. So, you can go, there are many resources on this. Circular logic is a logical fallacy in which the reasoner begins with what they are trying to end with. He's trying to end with, of course, that the laws apply by stating as his support, the laws apply because the laws apply, or the laws apply because the laws say they apply. Again, this is saying that the same as saying, well, the Bible is true because the Bible says it's true. The components of a circular argument are often logically valid because if the premises are true, the conclusion must be true. However, the argument is useless because the conclusion is one of the premises. Circular logic cannot prove a conclusion because if the conclusion is doubted, the premise which leads to it will also be doubted. Begging the question is a form of circular reasoning. So, saying that the Constitution and Code apply because the Constitution says so, No, unless we are admitting a belief in magic that a written instrument from over 200 years ago that nobody ever bothered to sign is somehow applicable to me today, then of course it's just not going to hold any water. So it comes back to the law applies because the law says so, and that is nothing but circular logic. So enjoy the audio, the call to shame. And look, as always, if you believe that you have evidence that the Constitution and Code apply, please, we're live on the No State Project every Saturday from 4 to 7 Eastern Standard Time on the Liberty Radio Network. That is LRN.FM. Just as Bitcoin is accepted here, so is the evidence proving that the Constitution and laws of a state apply just because of your physical location. Again, my name is Marc Stevens. This is markstevens.net.
Now, in the meantime, I'm going to mail a publication one to your tax.
No. You don't need to do that.
Or you don't need to.
Because it's not responsive to what I'm asking you. I'm asking you for facts. I'm asking you for evidence. You keep citing it. Are you saying that the law applies because the law says so?
I'm sorry?
Is your position the laws apply because the law says so?
Sure it is.
Okay, hold on.
We're enforcing it.
All right.
We're commission officers.
The laws apply because the laws say so.
Mm-hmm.
You understand that that's not evidence? That's a circular logic.
You can call it any you want, sir. We are a commission officers.
That's not the issue.
Okay.
That's not the issue.
That's a judgment that you're going to have to talk to the judge, sir.